Okay, for this video, we're going to start with analyzing a part that looks a lot like the hand wheel we created in the last lesson. You can see it's got this boss that's been added, but that files has been supplied. You should see it in this lesson. So mine came in like this with the real graphics view, and generally I don't like to use this type of this view. So we can come up here and we can just click off the real view graphics and it's going to look something more like this. And what we're going to look at is actually selecting a material, and that's different from what we were doing over here. This just alters the appearance of the part, but it does not select the material. It does not offer any properties or associate any properties of the material to the part. So if we look over here to the side, my part came in already with the material assigned to it, aluminum bronze. But if we right click on this, and I can remove the material, and now there's nothing specified. And this looks like more when we created that part. But if I right click on this again, I've got some real common ones that come up here. But then I can also click on edit material, and it allows me to select any number of materials. If I want to, if I had to, we could also custom assign a material to this part as well. But for this one, we're going to pick under copper alloys, aluminum bronze. And under this, when you look, you've got all the scientific properties that have been that are associated with this product or this material, like tensile strength, compressive strength, yield strength. And what this does is, because it's assigned now to this material and our part, we can use SolidWorks to perform some pretty high level analysis from our computer. And we can get stress calculations, we can get all different sorts of engineering data from this. So I've got other tabs up here, and I've got appearance, and this has been what has been assigned by SolidWorks as the color for this material. I've got the crosshatch, so if I'm doing a drawing and I have to take a cross section of it, this is what's going to appear. And again, we can customize this to our liking as needed. So go ahead and close this. Now we're going to look at mass properties. Oop, and I forgot to select it. Let me just reselect this real quick. And what I didn't do is I didn't hit apply. So we need to hit apply to select that material. Now we're going to go up here, up on top, and we're going to hit evaluate. And then what we're going to look at is our mass properties. And the mass properties are relative to our part, but they take into account the material that has been assigned to our part. And one thing that I do when I grade a lot of these parts, because I've drawn all these parts, is, especially with the midterm and the final, is I look at the mass properties and I ask for either the weight or the mass of what that part is. And then if you're off by, like, say, a certain percentage, you're going to get marked off points, because this will take into account even if a radius or a chamfer is wrong, stuff that maybe I can't see just visually when I look at the part. And this gives me an idea of, how correctly that the part was done. So you can see over here, it's got the mass properties of homework analysis, and that's our solid part that's listed here. And I've got the density of the material. I've got the mass, the volume, the surface area, center of mass, and then I've got moments of inertia. So you can see, if you're designing a part, this really comes into into play that gives you an awful lot of information. And so one thing that you'll want to do, because I do use mass properties quite a bit to look at drawings, and it doesn't mean I don't look at all your drawings, it just means I don't have to go through line by line, feature by feature to see that every little detail was done correctly or how far off that you are. And one thing that I'll just caution people on is make sure that you're in the right units. If the or what I'm asking for, if it's grams, if it's pounds, you may have to do a conversion from grams to pounds, but you also have options up here that I can change, that I can use either the document settings, which are going to come from our template, or I can use custom settings and I can change my settings here. So make sure you look at what I'm asking for in the assignment and that this matches. So mass properties in general. So this is SolidWorks information, but file properties of what we create. They're details about what we create that help identify it, and another word for it is metadata. And this could include a descriptive title, the author name, the subject, anything that we can click on in the information and find it. Close this. And so some of the other properties or classes of file properties that we see in SolidWorks is we have automatic properties. And again, you can read about this on page 232. But they are properties that are maintained by the application that created the property, meaning our program SolidWorks, such as when it was created, when it was modified, and the file size. We have preset properties that already exist, and they can be edited or added or removed. And then we have custom properties that are defined by the user and applied to the entire document. So one area that we can go to and we can look at things is up next to this little gear wheel. We've got this file properties tab, and if I click on it, I've got a summary, and it shows me when the file was created, when it was last saved, and who saved it. And it was last saved with a different version of SolidWorks. If I go in here to custom, we can add some values in here. And so why do we care about these file properties? And there's different uses. We can use them in parts, assemblies, and drawings. And basically these properties can be used to create notes. And I think the book calls them parametric notes, which means if we link them to file, if we link notes to file properties and those properties change in the drawing, then we can make it so the notes change too. In assemblies, we can select components based on specific file properties. And then drawings, file properties can be used to fill in data in the title block, so we don't have to do it. And again, if you're working at a company and you're using SolidWorks all the time, and even if you have like a family of products, or you're doing a lot of different things, this can really end up saving you a lot of time, because not only can you create custom templates, but you can create custom file properties that will start filling in these blanks for you automatically. And you don't have to worry about that you're forgetting something because you've set everything up ahead of time. So in this chart, under property name, we're going to click on this down arrow and we're going to click description. And in the next one, we're going to click on this down arrow. Oh, it already did it for us. We're going to do text. And then our value, we're going to type in we're going to do hand wheel for globe valve. And if you miss this, It's on page 234. We don't need to select anything under this pull down. You're just going to see this populate over here in the evaluated value over here on that right hand column. All right, so for this next row, type in the word, click in there and type in the word mass. Text is what we want, and then for our value expression, we want mass here. And you can see that it put an expression in there that it's taking mass from our solid part. And then it put in the evaluated value in that right-handed column. All right, we're going to click OK. Go ahead and save this part. We're not going to turn it in yet, but just make sure that you keep saving your part along the way. And we're going to end this video here.